Me testing if friendly fire is on. Yes, it's on, evidently, from this screenshot. It's kind of interesting how many games don't actually have friendly fire. Like, I imagine you sit there and you look at it, how there is a bullet traveling from your gun over through something that it should not be able to travel through. So, like, I understand why you don't put friendly fire on, because sometimes it makes a game harder than what you actually want it to be. Your target demographic for certain games is not at all just Souls level difficulty there, but, you know, it doesn't make sense from a reality perspective. And I'm not one who, like, really nitpicks on realism settings. And I am a bit hypocritical in that I like it when the enemies have friendly fire. Just not so much when I have friendly fire. When you're the last player alive on your team. Don't worry, guys. Let me handle this. Yeah, that would never be me. I would be the last person alive on my team because I was hiding in a corner somewhere, and I'd be like, good game, guys, you know. You showed it to them. I wish I could have been more of a help to you, but that's not how this works. So, no, somebody has to carry me through a lot of those multiplayer games, and I'm not really ashamed of it. I don't play multiplayer games. I don't like multiplayer games. I've already said this. There are only a very few multiplayer games that I do like Kirby Superstar or, other games along those veins. But it's like when it's massively multiplayer online or like tournament based like Fortnite or PUBG or anything like that. Nope. If you guys are dead, I'm dead too. That's just the thing. Don't expect to win. Nothing. Just two warm-hearted video game nerds looking at each other. I love you guys. You crazy video game loving lunatics, you. It's one of those things. I am very appreciative that my channel is starting to pick up in whatever little way it is. I don't expect to be Mr. Beast anytime in the near 100 years. But I am glad to actually have a community that I can turn to and that we all look at games in the same light. We just enjoy them. We want to play them. We want to, that's how we enjoy living our lives, is just behind a controller. And we do our things and we get done what needs to be done, but at the end of the day, we return to our game systems and we relax and we enjoy the camaraderie. There's just so much goodness when it comes to games, and I really am glad that there's this community in the world. Dude, I'm so tired. Gamers. Then go to sleep. The general public. Gamers. Slowly getting ready to slap somebody. Oh yeah, for sure. This absolutely is true. The people don't realize that when you get engaged in something, then time kind of loses all meaning. You can spend hours in front of a game not realizing that you're spending those hours in front of a game until it's 3 or 4 in the morning, and then it's like, oh crap, I need to get to sleep, otherwise I'm going to be dead. And even then, it's not always about our inability to control our time budget or whatnot. A lot of times it's just because we do other things as well, and by the time we have a chance to play a game, it's late at night, so we don't even have an opportunity to really enjoy things in the same way that other people do who don't play games. And so it's one of those things that you just really have to kind of take what people say with a grain of salt. Don't get offended that people don't understand, because nobody besides gamers is going to understand why we behave the way that we do. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you should just do this. Yeah, everybody is a shoulda, woulda, coulda. I can shoulda, woulda, coulda this guy who makes an immaculate Mona Lisa replica on YouTube, and that doesn't mean that it has any sort of bearing or influence. So, yeah, just take it with a grain of salt, guys. Village boy learns to jump. Thousands celebrate across the world. Bokoblins face weapon shortage. Well, maybe it's because their weapons break after 3 uses. I mean, that would cause any weapon shortage. In fact, at that point, why even use weapons? Let's go back to the good old days of fisticuffs. Anyway, Legend of Zelda. One of those games where it's interesting how they built the game without the jump mechanic. Like, there are so many segments where the jump mechanic is needed, and they built it so that he does that automatic jump, and it works. Like, it really is a fantastically designed game for having such a glaring limitation as not being able to jump. Of course, they added the ability, of course, now in the latest Zelda games, and I think there were a couple Zelda games in which he was actually able to jump. Some of them you required a special item to do so. I remember in Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, you needed a Rock's Feather or a Rock's Cape, which allowed you to do double jump and all that. Those were great games, by the way. I'll probably stream them. But it is definitely one of those things that it's so amazing how people can design these games that are so fun and so entertaining with even just limitations like, hey, let's make a fun game that you can't jump in. And it's like, how are we going to do that? And then they do it. It's just amazing. The creativity of people is genius. I didn't lock the front door. Sleeping soundly. I forgot to save after 8 hours of progress. Wake up in a panic. Absolutely. If you remember that you forgot to save, you get your butt over there and save. Well, if you can. Sometimes, just that time is lost. And I guess time is never truly lost because you do get better at the game. Of course, losing 8 hours of progress, that's annoying, of course. But you do get better at the game, so it's probably not going to take you that exact same 8 hours to get back. Unless you were facing off against an impossible boss and you won by sheer luck, like something astronomical happened and you just won by sheer luck, But in the end, it is what it is. You work on it and you try and do better, and next time, remember to save. Mom, okay, one more game. Me playing on story mode. Ah, tricked ya. Not really. Like, one more game. We all know what she means. And if you don't want people to be sitting there nitpicking everything that you say, don't sit there and nitpick everything that they say. You're an intelligent person. You know what they mean. And one more game? Yeah, that's... if you're on story mode, then that can take anywhere from, 2 to 48 hours, depending on what game you're playing. Especially if it's Final Fantasy. Man, those games are long. But I can guarantee you're not going to be playing it for that amount of time. Definitely going to fall asleep somewhere in between those hours. But remember, what goes around comes around. You sit there and you do this to your mom, and you better believe there's going to be some repercussions. Holy cow. Let me guess. Nintendo has announced the Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Direct? Yep. It's going to be a big one. Most likely. Bring it on. Booyah! No. That was such a great movie. Holy cow. The Emperor's New Groove is a timeless classic. I absolutely love The Emperor's New Groove. How could they create something so timeless and just be so silly throughout the whole thing? It had the perfect amount of humor and the perfect amount of heartwarming, serious moments. I feel like movies nowadays don't do that. I feel like they have a huge problem nowadays actually building up a good story that doesn't take 3 hours to tell, with good characters and a good amount of hilarity with also the right amount of seriousness to actually make it a movie, make it a good film. So, but as far as game goes, of course, Nintendo, Animal Crossing, I've never played the games. Never played Animal Crossing at all, but it is a popular one, and I respect that. You have a large group of dedicated players. Good for you. That's great. Love it. Keep going. Enjoy your game. I'm probably not going to ever play it. It takes too much time and focus to do stuff like that. But, if you like it, keep doing it. And Nintendo knows how to make a good game. This is one of those things where, with the Nintendo Direct and the new Mario game where he turns into an elephant. You know, the pachyderms have always been there ever since Yoshi's Island. You know, they've been part of the mainstays anyway. So if you doubt that Nintendo can make a great game with a silly concept, then you really don't know Nintendo. Welcome to heaven. Here's our Roblox Game Depot. These are obby's tycoons and simulators. Ha ha ha, psych. Yeah, I know, right? I've been playing Roblox, and there are some actually really good things on Roblox. I consider Roblox to be a very good casual gaming experience. Like, I haven't come across anything that is incredibly difficult, and it's hard with a physics engine like the Roblox physics engine to actually create something that is challenging in any, I guess, for any serious gamer, or I guess even long-term gamer like myself. So it is challenging to do stuff like that, but in the end, we all need casual games. We all like to sit there and relax sometimes and just play a game that we can absolutely destroy. And I feel like that's kind of the niche that Roblox fills. Introduces people to the gaming whatever and allows us to all kind of just relax and calm down and unwind after playing something maybe really hard like Dark Souls or something along those veins. So it's definitely got a niche, and it is fun. I'm not going to say that it's not fun, because it is, absolutely. And there are probably games on there that I don't know about that I am going to play, and I'm going to enjoy playing, and I'm going to stream as much as I can. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But in the end, for true gamers, Roblox would not be, I guess, filling enough for us to consider it any form of heaven. Game devs. But do people want to play evil characters? Untitled Goose Game. Yeah, geese are evil, okay? I grew up on a farm in upstate New York, and the only thing that geese understand is, you know, violence. And they will absolutely attack you from across, and they'll nip you at the butt. It doesn't really hurt. Like, I feel like a lot of people are more scared of geese than geese actually deserve. Like, when they bite you, it feels like a pinch. That's about it. You know, bees sting a lot worse than that. And it's just one of those things. Geese will always choose violence, and they'll attack you. All you do is grab them by the neck and hold them until they get tired of trying to attack you and realize that they're not getting anywhere. Then they stop. But yeah, definitely. People want to play evil if this is the type of game they want. And I'm sorry, but there are also some good games where you play the villain in those games. Like, the latest one that I can think of is in Mario Odyssey, that part where you play as Bowser, and that's fun. Playing as the villain, you know, taking over the villain and playing that particular part of it. Yeah, it's great. It's just a lot of fun. So, I would say that any type of game nowadays will find an audience as long as it's developed with some sort of love and care. When you finish a great video game, oh, now I have to face stupid reality again. Yeah, it's the worst thing, having to go back to reality after you've played a magnificent game. A lot of times after you've beat a game and like you're fully done with it, you 100%ed it or you platinumed it, however you consider yourself done with a game, there's an empty feeling. Like you feel like part of your life is gone, that you wish you could turn back the clock and get that back and redo everything from the beginning and get it all again. But the thing is, you gotta remember, there's always games coming out that are gonna fill that hole. There's always going to be great games coming out. As long as there are dedicated people out there who love gaming and love the gaming community, then great games will never be in short supply. It's kind of like that movie Ratatouille, you know, food always comes to those who love to cook, and it's the same with video games, that great games always come to those who love to play video games, and that's what the community is about. Like, we find these great games, we play them. I can't tell you how many times I've found great games that filled a needed part in my life. And it's like once I'm finished, I feel that emptiness until I find the next great game. You know, I felt that with Elden Ring, and then I played Hollow Knight, and then I felt that with Hollow Knight, and then I started playing Sekiro. And there are great games out there, and yeah, you'll feel empty when they're done, but there's always another great one coming around the corner, and that's the best part of video games. Dad, can you please stop screaming? It's just a video game. Also dad during football games. Oh man, that would be freaky. Okay, you're swimming in the water and then suddenly there's that giant maw opening up on you. Absolutely, the water would definitely change color around me, because there would be no holding back my bowels from anything like that. No, but yeah, I tell my kids to stop screaming at video games all the time. Whereas, I mean, it's okay for me to yell at video games, just not them. I kid, of course. You know, people don't seem to take a joke. But the point is that you don't want your kids to grow up the same way that you do. So you try and teach them even if you yourself aren't the best at it. It's just trying to make the next generation better than this one. And that's kind of the role of a parent, to help things progress forward. And, I mean, if a little bit of screaming or yelling occurs, then, I mean, such is life. Someone talking to me while I play video games. One, I can pause the game, very small percentage, during a very important cutscene all the time. People just, I don't know what it is. There seems to be like this synchronization of, I don't know what it is, coincidence, you know, just a synchronization of coincidence, in which the moment you're doing something that is important to you, I suppose, that's all of a sudden when everything else starts happening. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've been in the middle of an important cutscene or fighting an important boss, and suddenly that's when my wife wants to talk to me, that's when my kids need me, that's when, like, everything starts happening. Yeah, it's just part of existence, I guess, that they just don't want you to have a good time playing a video game. I'm not talking about my wife, I'm talking about existence in general, that just don't want you to have a good time playing a video game. I'm sure that there are some people whose wives are like that. I've seen the memes too, okay? But, yeah, so my recommendation is never get so tied up in just trying to do stuff with video games. Play when you can, and eventually you'll get through it, and you can always catch up on the cutscenes online or watch a playthrough that has them. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I find the same thing happens whenever you're trying to move out into traffic. Is like the moment that you try to get into traffic, suddenly every single car in the nation passes you in front of you and doesn't let you in. And it's the same thing with video games. The moment you're doing something important, that's the moment that everyone needs you for something. Aw, sad cat. When you have a professional player playing with you and he says GG, even though he carried you the whole game. Absolutely. It's so, it takes nothing to be nice, guys. Even if you have a terrible game and you really want to scream and shout and be as toxic as you can be because you feel like you deserve to win and then something stopped you, just be nice. Like, literally, it takes absolutely nothing, and you're not going to seem weak for it. You're actually going to make somebody's day. Like, somebody is going to remember you in the annals of their mind forever because you took the time to be nice when they know that they didn't do anything to help you out or to progress the gameplay at all. So definitely, try and avoid toxicity when you're playing games with newbies. I know I appreciate it, and I'm pretty new to pretty much everything. Googled best gaming mouse. Was not disappointed. I wouldn't be disappointed either. That little guy is adorable. Though it's technically a rodent, not a mouse. It's a hamster. So it wouldn't fall into that category, but I mean, all mice are rodents, but not all rodents are mice. It's one of those things. But that is a very cute hamster. Looks like he's playing Tekken kind of. It's hard for me to tell from this, but looks like he's playing Tekken, and that game is freaking annoying. Like, if you've ever tried to play it, all of the button presses just to get a single combo off, that's too much for me. I wouldn't be able to do that in any like professional or even amateurish type playthrough or play style or anything like that. Just not my style of game. But if you like it, that's good for you. This absolutely is the best gaming mouse, for sure. 100% agree, I would buy this. Winning a game but playing alone. Sad. Losing a game but playing with friends. Super happy and joyful. Yes, it's always better to have more people. Now, I know that that's kind of an oxymoron because us gamers, we usually like to be loners. We have our games, and that's literally the only thing we need in existence, our video games. We could be perfectly happy not having anything else to our name but our video games. But let me tell you something. There are a few things that make video games even better, and one of them is friends to play it with. Absolutely 100% will always make your game better when you have friends that you can share in the joy of your video games with. It's just part of our social nature as human beings. Another thing is the time you take away from the video game. Just get outside, touch grass, exercise, do something. It'll always make you play better. You get some exercise, your brain starts working a bit better. So just take a few breaks here and there and get yourself active, and I can guarantee you those things that you were losing before, you're gonna start winning. An NPC enjoying his ride. Me, for no reason. Yeah, I mean, NPCs were made for the pleasure of the gamer. So whatever you do to an NPC, I mean, I'm sure that there is some sort of karmic justice that you'll have to answer to one day. But for now, I guess enjoy. Enjoy what you can do to the NPCs for whatever. I mean, there's so much fun that you can have with NPCs in Dark Souls, especially after you kill them. Then they kind of go ragdoll. Like, and I'm talking Dark Souls 1. You can sit there and just like move their body around in like really weird ways and throw them over the edge, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, NPCs are made for the enjoyment of the game and progress of the game. So for sure, if this is you, happy hunting. Lag 805 seconds. That is a lot. When they don't believe that you died from lag. Yeah, I mean, if your lag was 805 seconds, number one, you would be dying, but number two, no, I wouldn't believe you. I wouldn't believe that you died from lag. I would say that you are lying from the amount of lag, because lag, that doesn't get that big. 805 milliseconds, maybe. 805 seconds, that's minutes of lag. That is minutes of lag. That's over 10 minutes of lag. So, no, I'm not going to believe that. 800 milliseconds, then yeah, I'll believe that you died from lag, and I believe that your internet connection is sucky and you probably actually need to go and not play multiplayer online games until your internet connection gets better. It's more or less for the team and the people that you play with, so you kind of sacrifice your own enjoyment so that they can enjoy their own thing. But yeah, 100% would not believe that you died from lag, especially if you told me it was 805 seconds of lag. I absolutely would not, and I do not believe that. Gamer dies in a game. Gamer saying every curse word in the English language. Yep, absolutely. But I don't curse, so that wouldn't be me. I would be saying things like freak or frick or frickin' or freaking or dang it or dagnabbit or, you know, any of those other substitute words. But yeah, you do get gamer rage, of course, when you die to a game that, number one, you believe you should have won. It's very easy to get angry to things that you believe were due to you, basically. This is why I said you never guarantee your win, you never guarantee your lose. That way, you never get upset over losing in a game. You expect that something's going to happen, you're going to die, use it as practice, get better. That's my advice. Join me Monday through Saturday for daily gaming content and meme uploads. Everything I do is for games, so if you like this stuff, if you like video games, then drop on by. Drop us a subscribe.